Hello, good morning, guys. All right, beginning with the pound. We had some good news come out that I sent in the chat a little bit earlier regarding the UK Chancellor adding supportive measures to the economy. Now, I want you guys to remember what we talked about in the course specifically, that this news, whatever news we observe, it needs to be somewhat of a surprise to really take its effect on markets, right? Well, we did expect this, and so this changes really nothing in my view. Now, when it comes to the pound, my view is still very bearish on this pair, and I'll tell you why. The main focus in my eyes for the pound at the moment is the rapid rise in cases, essentially at the brink of a second wave, along with Brexit. As the breakthrough in negotiations, it's not seeming like a likely case right now. Because the deadline is October 15th and it's approaching very fast. Brexit is definitely one of the more influential factors right now. Now, let's begin with discussing the coronavirus situation. The number of cases in the UK is currently standing at 410,000 at the time of this recording, and the daily reported cases are increasing at a faster rate as well. If you look at the 7-day moving average, you can look at that as well. Regarding the Bank of England, we had 2 emergency rate cuts and an increase in its quantitative easing program. Along with that, the official bank rate stands at a historic low of 0.1%. And there's a possibility that it could turn negative in the coming months. Now, Brexit, as I explained, the outlook isn't looking great. As the Prime Minister, Mr. Boris Johnson, he brought the deadline to October 15th, while both sides aren't really willing to compromise on key issues such as the fishing rights or the level playing field. So in addition to this, the UK is looking to break their withdrawal agreement in a specific and limited way, quote unquote, in a specific and limited way. Relations between the two sides do seem to be at an all-time low. So with all of these risks of Brexit, coronavirus, the Bank of England reducing rates and whatnot, all of these are a massive risk to the UK economy. And the fundamental bias for me still remains bearish and sell the rallies until we get good news on the Brexit front. At least until we get news on the Brexit front, all right? In other tragic news, after the unfortunate passing of the Supreme Court Associate Justice Ginsburg, political tensions have been heightened once again. Now, some analysts are saying that this makes the passing of the next stimulus bill even more challenging prior to the election. And some people are living off of this money, guys. You need to understand. So that's another factor that will add to the volatility around the election situation, right? Also later today, we have the U.S. initial jobless claims data. This is the major focus for the session. So it does look like, that if this, it looks like that the passing of this U.S. fiscal stimulus bill isn't going to happen anytime soon. It's not going to get approved anytime soon. Right, and these consumers that are trying to live off of this, it's not really going to be supporting them, not giving them the support they need at the moment, right, with all these things going on. So the case for the U.S. recovery is looking less and less good. If the jobless claims comes out below the market's expectations, expect a bullish move in the risk assets along with the dollar, because as you guys know, the Fed and the U.S. as a whole, all the data, it affects the entire world, so it will move risk assets along with the dollar. In the bearish scenario, wait for the higher than expected numbers, which would cause a sell-off in risk assets alongside the dollar, of course. Another thing to keep your eye out for today is the geopolitical situation between Greece and Turkey turning into a risk for the Eurozone. This doesn't have seemed to be noticed by markets yet. They don't seem to care yet, but keep an eye out for any escalations with these two. As we know, geopolitical tensions have major effects on markets. So if you're trading the euro or the dollar, because the dollar and the euro, they affect each other. So keep this in mind if you are trading those two pairs. In virus news, the president said 4 COVID-19 vaccine candidates are in the final stage of trials, and the administration is giving $200 million for states to distribute vaccines to high-risk people. My last point here is Russia is to supply 17 more countries with the drug Avifavir for COVID-19. Basically what this is it's an anti-influenza medication. It's been repurposed essentially to fight COVID-19, and preliminary trials said to have shown that this drug shortens recovery time for patients with the coronavirus. So Russia's giving its supply to 17 more countries. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I'll be updating as the week goes on, as the day goes on. If I see any important news, I'll see if I have any setups. I haven't taken a look at the charts yet. Just been going over the fundamentals, and definitely keep an eye out for those geopolitical tensions with Europe and the U.S. jobless claims. The U.S. jobless claims are definitely the main focus in this session, and a hit or a miss by any big numbers, it will have a good effect on markets. And when I say good, I mean a big effect, right? So definitely keep an eye out for that if you are trading any risky assets or the dollar. All right, guys, take care.